Ding, ding, ding. Let's settle the debate once and for all. Vegan versus carnivore. And there's some wildlife of each side above. There's Jim Morris, who is vegan most of his life. And then we have a heart attack troll carnivore. Now, these are outliers, but we'll look at the norms and some facts on different aspects. And this is a message for the anti-vegan trolls who want to hurt more animals, because most come from sick factory farms. Despite their slick marketing, they like to lie. So the criteria we're going to look at for this video is animal cruelty, sustainability, taste, health, and if it's natural, and 5 factory farms. So those are the criteria. So again, most animals live in sick factory farms. I suppose you should look them up if you want to know what you put in your body. They're not the Red Barn farms shown on fast food TV ads. So here is, it's not the cow, it's the how. No, it's both. There's 8 billion people eating trillions of animal products. It is unsustainable if everyone were to go carnivore. In 50 years, humans have doubled and killed off 69% of wildlife. Meat equals food waste and starves people. Yes, most crops are fed to factory-farmed animals inefficiently. Even grass-fed is harvested. So when they talk about crop deaths and exaggerate that, most crops are fed to factory animals, and it's not always the byproducts. A good percentage are grown for the animals. Just like the commercial fishing industry and sick fish farms. Look up super trawler nets. So you can look up veganbodybuilding.com. So Soy Boy is the insecure boys trying to act manly, flexing on animals. And processed foods can actually be healthy based on the recipes. Here's some things in your meat that you may not know when you buy it from a store. Quite a few ingredients. Not that a number of ingredients makes it bad. It's a recipe. It just depends on what those ingredients are. They can be good or bad, like Dr. Prager's veggie burgers and other patties, plant-based chicken substitutes. 3/4 of men say they'd rather die early than give up meat. Yes, but they eat it to stay healthy. And for taste, our cat loves tofurkey and some of our other foods. He goes screaming for it, as you could see in that picture there. And another side note is organic, of course, if you want to be natural. You might want to attack and eat an animal raw. I always say, if you really want meat, go eat a dog raw after they die naturally. Why waste the flesh and furs? The most unnatural thing is breastfeeding cow milk, basically, which are from forced bred raped animals. They steal the babies. They're selectively bred so they overproduce. Those reveal crates below. And the birds that are selectively bred and factory farmed, where they grow so big so fast, many have broken bones, be like a toddler weighing 180 pounds. Here's a factory farm for birds where they stuff tens of thousands into a shed. Here's some facts you can pause to read about the cruelty aspect. I think we're on number 3 or 4 now for our top outline. Yes, most animals come from factory farms, especially birds in the USA too, regardless of the small amount of resource-intensive so-called pasture. Because free range often lies, or cage-free can lie too. Bred to lay too many eggs, destroying their bodies. Nobody needs a female's bird, period. Look up how it's made, meatvideo.com if you love meat. Many undercover investigations at the largest factory farms. Here we go, dog meat, milk, horse meat. Why discriminate? Got fiber? That's just a joke. Lifelong vegetarian and long-term vegan, Tori Washington, all natural, healthy vegan vegetarian military meals. Most major dietitian organizations worldwide endorse vegan. Yes, most major dietitian organizations worldwide veganhealth.org for breakdowns and the science. Here's the breakdown of beef versus beans. And you can pause to read which one is better, not just for us, but for all species and animals. Again, not natural or nice. Factory farms eat more chicken. Yeah, the most abused little birds. Again, most crops are fed to animals and they're not strictly remains. And they are too worried about what you call it when everyone knows what it is. Why don't you call it dead animal or dead flesh or bodily fluids? Yeah, TV commercials spreading propaganda and lies. Gorillas, one of the species closest to us, is plant-based, as well as horses, elephants, and many more. Rhinos, kangaroos, you could go on. Super trawler nets, watch Seaspiracy, where they're destroying the oceans of bycatch, and sick fish farms as well today. Again, most antibiotic drugs feed factory-farmed animals, chemicals they talk about. Of course, I don't want sick animals neither, but giving them more space and not factory farming, leaving them alone. And here's the Pork Council's view on animals. You could have read that if you want to pause it. They see animals as nothing more than property, no respect for even welfare. Just the USDA welfare subsidies with our taxes. There's some veal crates. And before that is gestation crates with the baby pigs. Factory farming is fairly modern. Again, nothing natural or nice about it. Nearly all birds come from there, eggs. Again, birds are most abused and consumed in the largest quantities. 99% of all animals consumed are birds and fish. Cowboys and vegans. Again, this is anti-vegan troll who died. Didn't care about the animals, and it caught up with him too. Not saying you can't be semi-healthy short-term on carnivore, but it's not healthy ever for the animals and is not sustainable with 8 billion people eating animals. Factory farming would be the only way then, and that is not sustainable, natural, or nice. We are, in fact, the worst species, not the best. Humans have doubled in 50 years and killed off 69% of wildlife. Again, doubled in 50 years, human animals, and killed off 69% of wildlife. There's some propaganda and now anti-vegan troll boy concerned about the plants. Yes. And finally, female birds, periods. We're going to end on some vegan athletes, Olympians, bodybuilders, just about every sport. Sure, I'm sure there's some carnivore athletes. I don't know how long they've been. And it's might have some sustainability for their health short term, but not for the wildlife, environment, and all species. It is impossible with 8 billion people to focus on eating animals. Best to simply leave them alone and wean off the cow udder suckling and, call these guys some soy boys, insecure, weak addict, fake macho boys. So tons more athletes where these came from. Again, I'm sure there's some carnivore athletes, but veganhealth.org for breakdown in the science. Meatvideo.com, many undercover investigations at sick factory farms. Yep, some UFC fighters as well. Science found many gladiators back in the day were vegan. Again, veganhealth.org, meatvideo.com, meat.org. Watch factory farms.